If you think that golf is too difficult at times, then chances are you just don't have a swing system that is both simple and basic enough to learn, but also bulletproof enough to withstand all of the on-course pressures that come from transferring your swing from practice to the golf course. Imagine a swing so simple that even a 5-year-old could understand it. It requires minimal swing thoughts, little to no effort, and could be practiced in the comfort of your own home in less than 10 minutes a day. Sound too good to be true? Well, that is exactly the swing template that I'm going to be sharing with you today, including the exact drills you need to do in order to learn it and the exact order in which to train them. So in the next 10 minutes, let me transform your swing with just 10 words. Remember, this swing is easy enough for a 5-year-old to remember. Let's start with the first 2 words, which are weight forward. Setting up with and maintaining the weight predominantly on your lead side throughout the swing has multiple benefits, including improved contact via better low point control. We know we want to have the weight forward at impact, then setting up with and keeping the weight on the lead side will have some benefits. Number 2, you create greater power production potential by increasing the amount of turn and with it the amount of depth you can create in the backswing. I see golfers put their weight on their lead side and all of a sudden start creating more turn than they ever thought they could. And finally, improved club path. The delivery of this club is easier to swing from the inside when you keep your weight forward. So weight forward are the first 2 words, and I would tell you there's not a world that exists where you should be trying to shift your weight or even shift your pressure around on the ground. There's a current trend in golf instruction that's quite dangerous where golf teachers are telling you to start jumping up and down on these force plates like a cat on a hot tin roof. It's causing no end of confusion in terms of what you're supposed to do, and it's definitely not helping you to become a better golfer. You don't need any of that. All you need to do is set up to the ball, put your weight predominantly on your lead side. I'm going to say you can start around 80% of your weight on your lead leg, and then just turn around that lead leg and hit the ball. Anybody telling you otherwise is ignorant at best and disingenuous at worst. That's a beautiful high push draw that's landed bang on the target. It's carried 165 yards, total of 173 yards with a 7-iron. I did not shift my weight in order to do that. If you just leave your weight in the same place, the swing becomes infinitely easier to do. The next 2 words you need to learn are shoulder down. You think about the lead shoulder moving down in the backswing, and then the trail shoulder moving down in the follow through. That helps to maintain a stable axis of the swing. Really just think about a steady head from this front view. If I move my shoulder down in the backswing and then my trail shoulder down in the follow through. And the setup I have here, the training station I have here, is really just to mimic a wall. This is something you could do at home, and this is such a great drill, such a great exercise to train a good, stable, repeatable, predictable pivot. Rest your head on the wall. In this example, I'm just using this stick here, but I'm going to rest my head on the wall, and I know that if I make a backswing moving my lead shoulder down and keep the touch point of my head on the wall, or in this case on the stick, I know that I've made a backswing with the appropriate amount of tilt. I haven't stood up too much or even gone down too far. I'm keeping my head in the same place, and then I just try to mirror that in the follow through. As I push through into the follow through, my trail shoulder is now lower than my lead shoulder and my head's still touching the wall. That's the concept of shoulder down. It's very simple and very easy to practice if you have just 5 to 10 minutes a day placing your head on a wall and making a backswing where you predominantly feel like your lead shoulder goes down in the backswing and your trail shoulder goes down and underneath you in the follow through. So far, so good and so simple. Weight forward, shoulder down. And don't worry if you forget these words or these drills. I'm going to put together a playlist with all of the drills you need to do that you can click on at the end of this video and go and follow these in more detail. So far we've got the weight forward drill, which is going to be the wrench, and we've got the shoulder down drill, which is head on the wall. The next 2 words are hands in. Hands in describes the fact that we need to move our hands and with it the club around us on this arc that we swing on. We're not playing golf on a straight line and we're not swinging straight up and down. As we stand to the side of the ball, there becomes a need to swing the hands and the club on an arc. That arc is represented on the ground using the stack and tilt grid, a line or an arc for the club head and a line or an arc for the hands. You want to make sure that as you're swinging back, you're trying to move the club head and the hands around you in this curved arc fashion, both on the backswing and the follow through. There are specific drills that I've made about this grid and the way that you can, first of all, set it up, and second of all, practice with it. So I'm going to link those inside that playlist, but just for now, understand that if you thought about the swing in terms of swinging straight to try to hit the ball straight, you're probably getting it wrong. The need to move the hands and the club on an arc is significant, it matters, and there's ways in which you can practice it. I'll share the hands in drill via that playlist. The next two words are arms straight. The ability to manage the swing radius as the swing gets longer is one of the most difficult things that amateur golfers have to do. And it's probably the number one violation of these 10 words that I see on a daily basis. Golfers who swing back and flex their arms excessively, both on the backswing, through impact, and into the follow through. The inability to manage the swing radius results in multiple problems. Obviously, poor contact, you start topping and thinning the ball, and it also messes up the club face's relationship to the path, so you can't control the direction either. If I was to recommend one training aid for every golfer out there, if I could only ask you to use one, I would tell you to get something that you could place between your arms when you swing. This is a training aid, a golf training aid called the Tour Striker Smart Ball. You'll have seen it featured probably on my channel before, and also being used by professional golfers on tour as they practice. Holding something between your arms is a great way to train better radius management. Managing the radius of the swing, the arm structure throughout not just setup, into the backswing, the downswing, and all the way into the follow through will make you a better golfer. And you can incorporate this ball between your arms both with your home practice, which I'll show you shortly, and also whilst hitting the ball. So this combines as being both a great at-home drill and also a drill that you can do at the driving range. So far we've got our weight forward. We're going to think about moving that shoulder down. As I'm doing that, I'm tracing the lines on the ground and the grid, so the hands are moving in, and I'm going to keep hold of this ball to ensure that I'm conforming to the arms straight part of this swing template. Conforming to those 8 words pretty much perfectly. There's another beautiful high, tight draw. That one's carried even further. You think that taking the ball away and allowing you to swing longer can create more speed. Just take a look at that. Carry of 171 yards, total 180 yards. It's the same club. I didn't swing any longer, but I just controlled the pieces of the swing that needed to be controlled. So we're 8 words in. You could pretty much play golf with that swing. We're just going to finish off with the last 2 words. And the final 2 words to help us complete our simple swing template would be tuck hips, or push pelvis underneath you in the follow through. The hip sway, the way the pelvis works, is a tremendously important factor in the swing, and yet it often gets overlooked. Many people just see what happens here after impact as being automatic, but it's not at all. This has to be trained, and I would say this movement is the key difference between whether you're a good golfer who is consistent, predictable, and enjoys their time on the golf course, or someone who is perpetually frustrated with inconsistent contact. Learning the movement of this pelvis in the follow through is a key skill if you want to improve. So how do you do that? We're going to set up with our training station here again, and once again this stick that I have here set up for me could represent a door frame in your house, so you could easily do this exercise at home. On this occasion we're going to place the door frame just to the side of the left ear, or the lead ear, the left ear in my case, and I want you to just practice swinging towards the target. You can do this with a club. You could also do this at home without a club. I could just let my arms hang down, and with the door frame just to the side of my head, I want to practice moving my lower body as far forward as I can to a point where both my arms are more or less parallel to the ground, whilst keeping my head and my upper body stable. Tremendously important for so many reasons. Moving the lower body forward helps to shallow the angle of attack, helps to swing faster. It helps us to keep our head on the wall from this down the line view. You'll see that as I transfer into this follow through, my head doesn't start to raise up or dip down. So moving the arms around my body, moving the hips forward. So at this point right here where I stop, my belt buckle is the furthest forward part of my body. It's the closest to the target, excluding my arms. My arms are outstretched and straight. My head's still back and behind the door frame. You would only want to do that drill to that point in the swing, meaning you would only do that to the point where the arms are parallel to the ground, and there's an important reason for that. But that completes our simple swing template. There it is. So simple, a 5-year-old could remember those 10 words. Very easy to implement via some simple drills, which I'm going to incorporate again into a playlist at the end of this video, and you can watch it. The only thing really left for you to do is to start doing the drills. It's time to get to work and incorporate these into your daily routine. 5 to 10 minutes a day is all this needs, and you'll become a better ball striker than you ever imagined. But just before you rush off and start implementing the drills, you're going to want to know the answer to this question, which is, does it work for all clubs? And in particular, does it work for the driver? Well, you'll be pleased to know the answer to that question is emphatically yes. This works for all clubs. A swing that's so simple a child could remember it, and you can apply it to every club in your bag. It sounds too good to be true, but I'm showing you exactly how this works. The same 10 words with the driver. The ball's going to be a little bit more forward with the driver, so closer to that lead shoulder. You'll see how I've set that up further forward on the grid. But now I'm just going to implement those 10 words, weight forward. So I've got my lower body pushed further forwards, pushing my pelvis a little more ahead of my upper body to create a small amount of this spine tilt. That's contrary to how you're told to do the driver, which is to set up and then lean your upper body back. That is a catastrophic failure in learning how to hit the driver. The way that you move the weight forward with the driver is you push the lower body forwards. So that's the weight forward, and we're still going to conform to the hands in, shoulder down, arms straight, same pieces. It's all the same in the backswing and the downswing with the driver. And then finally, the tucking of the hips part here with the driver is really the magic move. I already referenced in the earlier part of this video how that lower body movement is a true separator of skill of golfers of different levels. If you're a better golfer, you tend to move your hips more forward, as opposed to the higher handicap golfers who struggle with that movement. It's one that you have to train and learn. Remember, you can use the door frame drill. Imagine that door frame to the side of your head, and you can practice pushing your hips forward and up in the follow through. Critical with the driver as much as any other club, because it creates a shallowing of the attack angle, helps you to hit less down on the ball and begin to hit up slightly, helping you to hit this club not only straighter, but further as well. So I'm showing you here how you can put all of your weight on your front foot, conform to the 10-word swing, and just go ahead and hit driver, not just better than you ever have before, but most likely longer, further as well. It's so easy just turning around that front point. There's so much less to think about. That's a 260-yard, 290 total driver with a nice soft, high push draw there. If that's something you'd like to see in your game, then you'd want to implement this 10-word template swing. There really isn't that much more to it, even though you may have been told that there is. The problem you've had up until now is you're probably looking for answers to questions that you didn't even know you had, going down rabbit holes that stop you from genuinely improving. This simple swing has very few swing thoughts, very little effort, and only requires the practicing of the drills that I'm going to put into this playlist for around 10 minutes a day. I'm also going to include a bonus video in here that's going to help you learn a little bit about club face control. But ultimately, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you get down in the comments and let me know how you get on.